I went through all of the win totals according to FanDuel, and what I did was I picked 5 teams that I like their over.
Okay.
And then next week, I'm going to do 5 teams that I like their under.
Okay.
So this week, we're going to start with the 5 teams that I like their over. And Alex, what I want to do is start with a team that we were just talking about. Because I don't want people to hear me say, I don't think the Cubs are going to win the NL Central, and think that I don't think they're going to be a better team with the potential to make the playoffs. Because the first team, Alex, is the Chicago Cubs. Now, their win total is set at 84.5 wins. I like them to go over that total. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, last season, they had 83 wins, second in the NL Central, but they had, I see it, especially with the addition of getting Cody Bellinger back.
Yeah.
They didn't lose too many people.
They lost Stroman, which is a tough loss for their rotation. And they lost Candelario, who never really panned out once they traded for him. They traded for early in the season, Jeimer Candelario, and he just wasn't a massive producer for that lineup last year. So I don't view that as this huge loss. But the notable additions are Shota Imanaga in the rotation, who I think can be a really good number 2 or 3 guy in that rotation. Justin Steele has spoke wonders about the guy. Said he stood in, watched a bullpen of Imanaga's, and was blown away by everything about him and his bullpen. So I'm excited for him this year. They added Michael Busch via that trade, which I think is going to be huge for the lineup. And then Hector Neris. The Cubbies have a sneaky, really good back end of the bullpen. Alzolay and Neris in the back end is dominant. A rotation that I think is adequate. I'm not going to say it's a good rotation, but I like Justin Steele a lot. Jameson Taillon's kind of a question mark for me. Shota Imanaga's a question mark for me. Hendricks in the back end of the rotation. So we'll see. But I do think lineup-wise, I like it a little bit more. Pete Crow Armstrong, I think, has the ability to come up and be a potential rookie of the year kind of talent.
Okay.
He's very good. Adds a huge dynamic to that outfield. If he's playing center field, he's one of the best center fielders in the game of baseball. So I'll take them over 84.5 wins. I really do think they're better than they were last year. They won 83 games last year. I'll take the Cubs over.
Okay. Next up, we have the team that made the biggest splash this offseason, the Dodgers. And you have them going over 103.5 wins.
Well, Alex, as we are recording this episode, currently the Dodgers just made another signing and signed Kike Hernandez. So he is back in Dodger blue again. So here's the thing with the Dodgers. Anytime that I see a win total over 100 games, my mind immediately goes to under. Do not bet the over if it's in the hundreds. It just feels like that's a lot to do with the hype and all of that stuff. So the Dodgers win total is set to 103.5. But after winning 100 games in 2023, I'm going to take the over of 103.5 for the Dodgers. Here's why. There's a couple reasons. There's obviously the signings, which I can get to in a second. But they won 100 games last year and really had a lot go against them, pitching, health-wise, and you know, a lot of different injuries popped up. They ended up losing after last year's team they're going to lose JD Martinez, Pepio, and David Peralta on that offense. Pepio pitching, JD DH spot. But the additions, to me, it just screams this team is by far going to be the best, I think going to be the best regular season team in baseball just because the NL East is a dominant division. You can talk to me about the Braves, but that division is going to be really challenging. With the additions the Dodgers made this offseason of Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Hernandez, Paxton, and that's just so far. Who knows what they're going to do? But Teoscar Hernandez is just the sneakiest, most underrated addition to this team. The guy's really, really good, but we're not even really talking about where he's going to slot into that team because of the $1 billion they paid to Ohtani and Yamamoto. But you add Glasnow to that rotation. You get Buehler back at some point this year, hopefully sooner rather than later. You add Glasnow to the rotation, Yamamoto to the rotation. So now you have a rotation that is really good and you have depth. And then you add all of these guys offensively that we just talked about. You get Gavin Lux, who unfortunately got hurt in spring training last year. So there's just so many additions. And then I look around NL West, and I still don't believe it's going to be a great division. I mean, the Giants, I don't think, are going to be a very good baseball team. The Rockies are going to be you're just going to steamroll through the Rockies. The Diamondbacks are an improved baseball team. The Padres aren't on paper as good as they were heading into last year. So there are a lot of divisional wins out there for the Dodgers. And then they're just going to, I just think offensively, this is going to be one of the best lineups that we've ever seen. 103.5 wins. Give me the over for the Dodgers. I really do believe they can win 104 plus games this year.
Thanks for watching. If you love Flippin Bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.